Here is our video, and you like this video, please subscribe and enjoy. We start with the opening, and already there are some interesting moves to break down. White opens with the queen's pawn opening, and black responds by developing the knight to f6, a common response aiming for solid development. White immediately grabs the center with the c-pawn. Black responds by preparing to develop the dark squared bishop. White develops the knight, reinforcing the center, while black strikes back by occupying the center with the d-pawn. White develops another piece, eyeing the center and possibly preparing for future pressure. Black follows suit, preparing to castle. White develops the bishop to g5, pinning black's knight on f6 to the king. Black castles, solidifying the king's safety. White prepares to develop the light squared bishop, and black responds with h6, possibly to kick the bishop if it stays on g5. White retreats the bishop to h4, keeping the pin intact. Black develops the knight to d7, likely preparing to break the pin with h6 or to reroute the knight. White develops the dark squared bishop, likely eyeing the kingside and central squares. Black plays b6, aiming to fianchetto the queenside bishop. White castles, ensuring the king's safety. Black follows up by fianchettoing the bishop to b7, where it can put pressure on the e4 square. White develops the queen to e2, possibly preparing for central expansion. Black decides to capture on c4, winning a pawn early. White recaptures the pawn, maintaining a strong presence in the center. Black strikes at the center with c5, aiming to challenge white's space advantage. White develops the rook, placing pressure on the d-file. Black places the queen on c7, possibly eyeing the c4 pawn and looking for counterplay. White doubles rooks on the c-file, bringing more pressure to bear on black's queenside. Black plays a6, preparing b5 or preventing white's pieces from encroaching on the queenside. White pushes a4, likely aiming to restrict black's queenside expansion. Black places the rook on e8, preparing to challenge white's center. White retreats the bishop to g3, eyeing the kingside and maintaining pressure on black's knight. Black develops the bishop to d6, where it may help control the center or support a kingside attack. White pushes the e-pawn to challenge black's center, and black decides to exchange on g3, simplifying the position. White recaptures with the h-pawn, opening the h-file. Black captures on d4, attacking white's center and freeing up space for their pieces. White recaptures with the knight, re-establishing control over the center. Black immediately targets the knight with k5, aiming to trade queens and simplify. White recaptures with the knight, re-establishing control over the center. Black immediately targets the knight with k5, aiming to trade queens and simplify. White retreats the knight to f3, maintaining pressure and control over the center. Black's queen goes to a5, threatening white's b2 pawn and pressuring the queenside. White pushes the e-pawn, looking for space and a potential kingside attack. Black decides to capture on f3, eliminating one of white's key attacking pieces. White recaptures with the g-pawn, opening the g-file. Black grabs the e5 pawn, gaining material and increasing their piece activity. White pushes the b-pawn, attacking black's e5 pawn and opening the b-file. Black captures on b4, further simplifying the position by winning another pawn. White's queen grabs the hanging c4 pawn, increasing the material advantage. Black recaptures on c4, keeping their material advantage, but still facing pressure. White develops the knight to e4, aiming to centralize and possibly prepare a kingside attack. Black takes on a4, continuing to grab pawns but leaving white with more active pieces. White sacrifices the knight on f6, forcing black to weaken the kingside pawns. Black recaptures with the g-pawn, which opens up the h-file for white's attack. White's queen captures on f6, creating a powerful threat. Black plays h5, trying to fend off the attack and keep white's queen from causing further damage. White places the rook on d4, targeting the black queen and preparing to double on the d-file. Black responds with qb5, offering some counterplay and staying active. White pushes g4, continuing to open up the kingside and looking to exploit black's weakened structure. Black pushes h4, hoping to block white's potential attack. White captures the h4 pawn, intensifying the kingside pressure. Black responds by moving the queen to b2, targeting the b2 pawn and looking for counterplay. White shifts the queen to g5, delivering a check and forcing black's king to move to f8. White places the rook on d1, adding pressure and controlling the d-file. Black responds by placing the queen on e2, trying to block white's progress. White moves the rook to d7, eyeing the 7th rank and forcing black's queen to trade off. Black captures on f3, but the pressure is mounting. White's queen delivers another check with qh6, forcing black's king to g8. White repeats the queen check with Qg5+, forcing black's king back to f8 again. White moves the rook to d3, preparing for a decisive attack. Black places the queen on c6, possibly looking to defend and counterattack. White's queen moves to f6, targeting black's exposed king. Black places the rook on e7, trying to defend and cover key squares. Finally, white delivers the checkmate with qh8. Black's king has no escape, and white wins the game. And that's checkmate. A well-played game by white, who managed to generate enough pressure on black's weakened kingside to finish the game with a decisive attack. Hoping that you enjoy the video. Please subscribe for more video.